What you think, Benny? You think we should have that at our party? I know a lot of you are afraid to have dinner parties or game day parties like we're doing because you probably feel like you don't know how to cook well enough to have people over. Listen, that's not true. All of you are great cooks, I know you are. And if you don't feel like you are, get your old cookbooks out. Try them. And try some of the recipes, and I'm sure you're going to be a pro at it before you know it. Get the big guys' recipes. We've got lots of recipes on there for you. Now, regardless if you're using an older cookbook or a newer cookbook, keep one rule of thumb in mind. Most recipes usually only serve 4 to 6, unless they otherwise say so. So if you're planning a dinner party or a game day party, there's just a few things you want to keep in mind. Plan, plan, plan. The more you plan, the more successful your party's going to be. Now, Benny and I are doing a game day party, and I can assure you we're going to probably have 6 or 8 good friends over. We're going to have lots of cocktails, and we're going to have a few hors d'oeuvres. Another rule of thumb you want to keep in mind when you're preparing for a party is that if you're having a lot of people over and all you're doing are heavy hors d'oeuvres, you want to make sure to have about 3 or 4 servings per each guest that you have. So if you've got a lot of hors d'oeuvres, 3 or 4 is going to be sufficient. If you only have a few hors d'oeuvres, then you may want to have more servings per guest. So maybe 5 or 6 servings per guest. Now, if you're doing a dinner party like I love to do, the big guy loves to have a lot of dinner parties, you only want 1 or 2 appetizers prior to dinner. You don't want them getting full on appetizers prior to eating your dinner. You've worked very hard on it. You want them to eat it. Only have 1 or 2. And maybe only 1 or 2 servings per each guest. So another thing you want to keep in mind, perhaps you're doing this recipe and it's for 4 or 6 guests. Maybe you're having 12 to 14 different people there. You're going to have to double or maybe even triple this recipe. So if it calls for, say, a cup of chicken stock and you have you're doing that recipe 3 or 4 times, then you're going to need 3 to 4 cups of chicken stock. So you take the number of the quantities that it's calling for and multiply it by how many recipes you're doing. And that way you can know how to plan for your dinner party. Another thing you want to keep in mind is to write down exactly everything that you're planning to serve. So for the big guys game day party that we're doing, you have to have chicken wings. So we're going to do some chicken wings. And I think we're going to do a cucumber lime sauce. Another thing I like to do is take something that I would serve at an elegant dinner party, say like my cucumber lime salsa that I put next to like a piece of grilled chicken, and serve it as a dip. That really works well as a dip. So I'm going to put it on my game day table with just some chips. I think I'm also going to do a fat-free version of a dip. Now I usually take yogurt. I tell you what, if you want the recipe for the chicken wings and that dip I'm doing, check back on thebigguyinthekitchen.com in just a few days. We're going to have the recipes for you. It's really one you're going to want. So I'm going to have that dip. It's a fat-free version. Got to have the peanut brittle. That's going to be great. You have to have a little something sweet. So we're going to do the peanut brittle. Popcorn. Everybody loves popcorn at a game day. So we're going to have popcorn with a special spray. I'll tell you about that later too. I think that's going to be pretty good. And if I decide I'm going to add something to it later, I will. Now, in planning each of the items that you're going to have, now's the time to make your grocery list. Check your pantry, see if there's anything in there that you like, and go ahead and start making your grocery list. So we're going to need chicken wings, we're going to need dip, we're going to lots of things that we're going to need. Go ahead and make your grocery list now so that you're better prepared. And I promise you, if you keep some of these rule of thumbs in mind, you're going to have the most successful parties ever. And once you do it, and it's very successful, you're going to do it all the time. What you think, Benny? We're ready. We're ready for game day.